everyone. Welcome to the Loving Path Podcast, episode 16. I'm back. It's been about 5 months, I think. Oh, maybe only 4 months. Oh, only 4 months. Oh, phew. I miscalculated. Still, this is a podcast about knitting, hand-dyed yarn, my son homeschooling, musical theater, which is our obsession, and really just living as true to myself as I can. So welcome. My name is Debbie. If you're new, I know there's some new subscribers. I don't get here as often as I'd like. It just is so busy. I told Isaac today that it had been, I thought it was 5 months. And he's like, time goes by so fast. I'm like, it does. So for these people who are podcasting weekly or bi-weekly or even monthly, kudos, because I just can't do it. But I'm here today, and I'm excited to be here. It's been on my mind to get back, and I just have not been able to because we have been so busy, as is life, right? I don't know where to start, to be honest. So much musical theater. So for those of you who are new, my son Isaac is almost 13, and he's big into musical theater. So it's kind of what he's been doing his whole life, and he does a lot of shows. We see a lot of shows. When he's in a show, we just have no time for anything else. So he's been in a lot of stuff. At one point in January and February, he was rehearsing 3 shows at a time, which were 7 rehearsals a week, 5 of which were 7 till 10 at night during the week, and luckily we homeschool. It just was so much that we just, I had no time to do anything else. Plus, I'm busy with my business, prepping and dyeing and traveling and things like that. So it's been crazy. But I miss being here when I'm not here, and I feel like I have so much to show you, and yet I don't remember most of what that is because it's been so long. I have a stack here of finished garments and things like that. Not all that I've knit. I've had some sample knits, and so I can't wait to show you those. But I'm going to start with some of the theater that we've been seeing because we've seen some amazing theater. So, without further ado, I'm missing one, but I'll tell you about it if I remember. First of all, okay, Penelope Ad here at the Grand Theatre in London. Whoa. Margaret Atwood is a Canadian author. Most people know who she is. She wrote a book called The Penelope Ad, which was her, I'm going to get this wrong probably, but there was a group of authors that were selected or volunteered, I'm not sure how that worked, to retell some of the great myths that we have come to know over time. And hers was Homer's Odyssey. And so the Penelope Ad is based on that. And it was told from the wife's point of view. So Homer leaves to fight his Trojan War, whatever, and she's left behind with all her people and his people, whatever, and it's kind of what ensues there while he's gone off. It was so good. Usually it's a full female cast. They did have a male this time that played Homer, and it was just, it wasn't Homer, it was Odysseus, I'm sorry, played Odysseus, and it was just so good. I feel like I'm getting something. I'm just checking here. So Pranit Akila played Odysseus, and he was amazing. He was so funny. But, just turn the page. One sec. I can't spend this long and everyone will be here all day. Penelope was played by Shauna McKenna, who is a very well-renowned stage actress here in Canada. And she was amazing. There was only about 2 times when she wasn't on stage for the 2-hour show. And that's just basically she walked around the back, came back on. The amount of lines that she had was unbelievable. At one point, Isaac turned to me and said, that's a lot of lines. I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of lines. It was so good. It was directed by Megan Follows, who is Anna Green Gables, if you know the original Anna Green Gables. So she did an extraordinary job. It was just incredible. Anyway, we saw that in February. Loved it so much. And then, I feel like we might be missing some, but oh well. Then we went to see Seussical at the Palace Theatre here in London, which is their youth program, their senior youth program, so basically 14 to 18. Again, phenomenal. Directed by our friend Ruth, who directed Isaac in a couple of shows when he was a bit younger. She is so talented. These kids killed it. So amazing. So we saw that March break, which was like March 13th to 17th here in London. And then in April, gosh, we saw, I'm trying to think when that was. March. Then later in March, we went and saw Dear Evan Hansen. Oh my god. This musical, if you're a fan of musical theater, is just amazing. It's so, so good. And as an adult who has been a teenager and who is now on the cusp of raising a teenager, it is so powerful and profound and packs a punch of emotion that you just don't know maybe is coming. I've been listening to the soundtrack for 2 years, so I know the gist of the story, but it fills in blanks that you don't know from the music. And, as a teenager, how hard that time is in your life. Not having the perspective to understand that it's going to get better. It's not always going to be this hard and this painful, and there's light at the end of a tunnel, but you don't know that when you're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You just don't know. And so having been there and gone through that and knowing how hard that is, and now sitting there and knowing that my kid's about to go through that and how hard that is, and how I can't protect him and I can't keep him from, I can't help him to see that there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel and that it's going to get easier. That's just, you have to go through that. Oh my god. Just the tears. The mom sings a song at the end to her kid about all that kind of stuff, and I just bawling. Like, everybody in the theater was a mess. Isaac's voice teacher went and saw it last Saturday, and I said, bring your Kleenex, because just bring them. And yeah, he was just like, oh. I said, yeah. Anyway, amazing. If you get a chance to see Dear Evan Hansen, go see it. So good. 1949 is a play that Isaac was in at the Palace Theatre. It was his first Palace main stage production. So it's a big deal. And he was one of 2 kids in the entire show. It's a Canadian play about Newfoundland joining Confederation. And there was a lot of tension about that, right? Because there were Newfoundlanders who wanted to join Canada because they felt like they would have security maybe and access to things that they didn't have as their own country, as a colony of Britain. And then there were people who did not want to join. There were people in Canada who considered Newfoundlanders to be simple-minded and didn't want them to be part of our country. It was very tense, very interesting, and it was about love and pride and how do you hold on to culture that is so much a part of who you are while joining another country, and yet needing to let a little bit of that go so you can, like, it was just very profound and some very, very beautiful moments in this show. So Isaac played the youngest son, and he had some hysterical lines. Anyway, it's just good. I don't want to sit here and talk about it the whole day because I could, but he had some really funny lines and some really, right before the end of the first act of, the first scene of Act 2, lights go down and the audience is in stitches because he comes in and reveals something that has happened that they've been playing up to, but I don't know. They've been playing up to it, but then they kind of dropped it for a bit so the audience forgets. And then when he comes in with this line that reveals, oh my god, everyone was just dying. It was so funny. So that was a great Canadian play that he got to be a part of. And then he was in this called The Enchanted Bookshop. And it is a cute little play about a bookshop owner and how the characters in the books come to life at night. And they're trying to help her save her store. This is his homeschool theater group. And there's a picture of them on the back. So Isaac is, I probably won't focus, but Isaac is right there. And he played Frankenstein and Fagin from Oliver. Hysterical. He got high praise for those 2 parts from other parents and other family members who saw the show. He was so funny. Very, very cute. And then we went and saw, I took my dad to see Come From Away. I don't have that program here. It's packed away. I forgot to grab it because I've already seen it once. I took him for his 72nd birthday. in April. He and I took the train down from London. He drove down the night before, stayed at my brother's, and then he and I took the train to Toronto and had the best time. Wandered around Queen Street, went for lunch, saw the show. He'd always wanted to see it, but I knew he wouldn't see it. He would never go see it on his own, and he didn't really have people to go with. Like, his friends aren't into that. So I got him tickets for his birthday, and they arrived in the mail to him, and he texted me. He's like, "Oh my god, what a surprise!" So we had such a nice time. And as you get older, you don't have that time maybe to spend with your parents the way you'd like to, because you're busy with your own life. And so it was very special for me to have that date with him, because I think as I've gotten older, I recognize that time's fleeting, and I don't know how long my parents will be here. They're 72 and 65, and you just don't always know, right? So anyway, it was really, really nice. We had a great time. And then we went and saw a chorus line, which our local high school, well, there's lots of high schools, but like one of our high schools, Beale, put this on for, they have their musical theater program. They do a big show every year, and it's really quite professional. And the kids are so talented, and this was amazing. They were so good. Oh my god, the singing, the dancing, the acting, like just top level. Really, 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 really good. And I'd never seen a chorus line, so that was really fun for us to see that, and to know so many of the kids in the production, right? Like, we knew a lot of them. So then to see them a few days later at Original Kids, Isaac's Theatre Company, or elsewhere, and just to be able to tell them how amazing they were. Excuse me. It's so good, so good. I think, and then the last, I'm thinking if there was something else, but I don't think so. Isaac went and saw a show locally here on the weekend when I was out of town with my husband, and it's written by a woman who was, in 1949, she played his mom, and so she wrote this play, and it's at the Fringe Festival this year, so he went and saw that, but I didn't get to see that. But the most recent thing that we've been in was Tommy, The Who's Tommy, which was such an incredible experience, and this I could talk about all day. There were, again, 2 kids in it. Isaac played 10-year-old Tommy, and there was a younger boy who played 4-year-old Tommy. And he was on for, like, 2 little scenes, I think. And then Isaac was on for the entire Act 1, and then parts of Act 2. In flashbacks, I don't know if you're familiar with The Who's Tommy, but it's pretty dark and heavy. And 4-year-old Tommy witnesses a murder. Anyway, in a long story short, he goes catatonic. And so Isaac played a catatonic Tommy. And if you know my kid, he is not catatonic. He is moving all the time and talking and very animated and busy and busy and busy. So for him to literally be like, I'll try and put some pictures in at the end, but for him to be kind of just like the entire time and not responding to lights, sounds, people waving in his face, singing at him, was very remarkable in my opinion. And people who know him too said, oh my god, that was amazing. He should be so proud. So this was an incredible show. Fabulous cast, I think 19 people, I think. All adults except for Isaac and the younger boy. And they all loved him. And you know, when people love your kid, it just makes me so happy. They all fell in love with him. They treated him like an equal. He worked really hard. He sounded beautiful when he sang. Yeah, it was just incredible experience to work with this new director who thought Isaac was incredible, and just the show itself, the music, which I'd never known. So we knew of The Who's Tommy, but we didn't know what it was about. You know, his uncle in the show attempts to molest him, which is not... So, you know, having to watch that, like, nothing happens, obviously. It's all just implied. He just throws him into a bed, and then the parents come home, and it's done. But, like, to watch that kind of stuff, and then his cousin, who was the actor who played his cousin's amazing. But they had to bully him, and all the other kids, all the other adults that were kind of the cousin's friends, they're all just kind of push him about. And he was just to stand there on stage, like, just being pushed like this and not responding. And I'm like, how are you doing that? And then his dad, desperate to heal him, hears of this woman called the Acid Queen, who is said to heal the blind and make the deaf hear and all that stuff. And so he takes him to her, but she's a prostitute and a drug addict. And so in the movie, I know she basically pumps him full of drugs, and the idea is that she sleeps with him, and that makes him feel alive again. So Dad takes him here, and she sings her incredible song, and Jen's amazing. She's a local musician, singer in a band, and she's amazing, and adores Isaac. So, when she does her thing, and she sings, and then Dad finally changes his mind and says, oh, yeah, no, thanks, and takes him away. So nothing bad ever happens, and backstage we're all snuggly and cuddly, and my mom was like, how is he handling this? This is pretty heavy. And I said, but it's acting, and he knows that, and they're all BFFs backstage, so it's fine. Like, it's not like bad things are happening to him, and he has to deal with that. And I think theater is so different compared to movies in the sense that you have the cast come out at the end and smile and bow, and you see that they aren't really those characters they're playing. And in a movie, you don't have that kind of closure, so it can be harder to process. So Isaac's like, I want to watch the movie, and I'm like, no. He's like, well, I've been in the show. I said, yeah, being in a show is different than seeing a movie. There's stuff that you can't always explain, and it's harder. They make it look very real. In a live stage production, it's not as easy to make some of that stuff look real, and actors come out at the end and say, thanks for watching us, bye, and they're all fine. Just like he wasn't catatonic at the end. He came out and smiled and waved, and they all dance off stage. It's just for fun. And they come out at the end and talk to the audience if they want. So anyway, amazing. So we've been very, very busy with theater. And tomorrow, which is June 12th, we are going to see Billy Elliot in Stratford. Oh, I can't wait. Billy Elliot, we love Billy Elliot. And the kid who's playing Billy Elliot landed the role from Across Canada Search for Kids. And he's from Vancouver, and they upped everything and moved to Stratford from BC. And he's phenomenal. We've seen clips, and I just cannot wait to see it. So we're doing that tomorrow. So I wanted to podcast today so I could edit it and get it out. Maybe not till Thursday, but eventually. That was a lot. I'm sorry. I had to tell you all that, though. But that's not even it. In March, I had a trunk show at Wool and Silk in Shelburne, Ontario, and that was amazing. Got to meet some really great people. In April, I had a trunk show at Spun Fiber Arts again. Every April, it seems I'm going to be there. It's kind of like our thing with my friend Melissa, who is Fibermancy. And that was amazing. So good. Got to meet lots of new people, and old friends came back and said hello, and it was just a blast. And then this past weekend, today's Tuesday, Saturday, I was in Kawartha in Fenelon Falls at the Kawartha Yarn and Fiber Festival. What a day. What a day. I had been dying a lot up until that point, to have lots of quantity, and then left Friday morning. Well, actually, I was up pretty late Thursday night, and then my husband drove a load of stuff to my friend Cheryl, who is My Needle Crafts on Etsy, on Etsy too, but on Instagram, because she rented a trailer for us. So he drove a load of stuff to her place because it won't all fit in our car, and came back. And then Isaac and I stayed home and were working, and then Friday morning I left at I think we left at 7:15 or something, 7:30, and drove another load to Cheryl's, and then he dropped me off. Obviously, we loaded up the wagon. Our friend Louise, who is 1/3 of the Fiber Friends podcast and Wildflower Wool on Instagram, she met us there, and we all went up together and had so much fun. On the way up, we stopped at the Schitt's Creek Motel. Did you watch Schitt's Creek? It's my very favorite show ever. And it was incredible. So we stopped there and got some pictures of the motel and things like that. And that was fun. And then we got there, set up, went for dinner, came home, went back to our hotel. We had a whole Saturday, and then we left and went to the show and had a fabulous day. Got to meet lots of new people, lots of Instagram friends and followers, which was so nice. Thank you if you came up and said hello and introduced yourself. It made my day. And then just being reconnected with other fiber friends who are in the biz, I guess you could say, and who were there vending. It was so much fun. So then I got home Saturday night, late, and barely moved off the couch on Sunday. I was so tired. Barely moved yesterday either, didn't do too much, but feeling a little bit better today. So much so that I'm here. But I'm just talking to try and get through some of the stuff so I can update you on where I've been. But we're at 20 minutes, so I should probably But yeah, so I've been busy, just been busy. Isaac's also in his short original Kids right now, rehearsing for that, which is called The Grunch, and it's a take on The Grinch That Stole Christmas. So they're putting on a middle school production, and this one kid is just miserly and decides he's going to steal the props, the lights, the sets, everything the night before the show, and the kids have to band together and put on a show without it, because the show must go on, right? Anyway, eventually they kind of get him over to their side, and they put on the show with everything, and it's fabulous. So that's going to be at the end of July and early August. Never stops, people. Never stops. Anyway, but I have a million FOs that I'd like to share with you. So, I'm going to do that now. Thanks for listening to all that. Sorry if I bored you and you turned it off. I did feel like I needed to share. I wanted to share. But I have a lot of finished objects. So, we're going to start here. I've had so many amazing sample knitters too, so I'll get to that, but like, I've been really fortunate the last few months that people have reached out and asked if they could knit me some sample pieces, which has just blown my mind and been so incredibly helpful. So thank you, thank you, thank you if you're watching this and you are a sample knitter. If you want to sample knit something for me, and please reach out. You can send me an email, contact me on Etsy or Ravelry or Instagram, and we can go from there. Anyway, my Telja is finished. Oh my gosh, this sweater is so crazy warm and lovely. I made some alterations, so I may have told you this last time. I increased my needle size because I really didn't want the dense fabric that you get with the original pattern. It's, I feel like it's a 3.5 millimeter needle, or maybe it's a 4, I don't know, but it made a very dense fabric. And I had knit my husband a Radari Icelandic sweater a couple years ago, and I love the weight of that fabric. It's light and airy, and so I thought, it's the same cast-on stitches. His medium and my small were the same, so I knew that if I knit this, it would work out to be, oh no, not his medium, the small for the Radari and the small medium for this. It was something like that, but I knew it would make it the same. So I did that, but what I had not anticipated in my head was that, of course, if you go up in needle size, not only is it going to be a lighter and airier fabric, but your yoke's going to be longer. So my arms start down a little bit lower than they need to. Like my arm is here, but the armpit here is like here a little bit, or something like that, like a little bit lower. But it's okay. It's just a little bit, it's just roomier. It wouldn't be any different than me wearing my husband's sweater anyway, which is big, and the arms are a bit lower. So it's just big, and oh my god, I love it so much. Hold on. I'm trying to back up a bit. And the colors, and they don't make those colors anymore. That yellow mustardy color is not, I can't find it anywhere anymore. So color was so fun. It's just Lettlopi. Yeah. In the pattern, if you're not sure, is Jennifer Steingass, who is Knit Love Wool on Instagram and Ravelry. Yeah. If you've got any questions, I just didn't write down what needle size I used. I'm bad at that. But I think I probably went up to a 5 maybe for the whole thing, because I wanted it to be looser. And it's perfect, really. At first I thought, oh, it's going to be weird, but the yoke doesn't bother me. I much prefer a looser fabric than something too dense, because then I would never wear it. It'd be too heavy. So that's FO number 1. FO number 2 is this little barley hat that I made for Isaac. Tin Can Knits barley hat. Free pattern on Ravelry. So cute. It is knit in my Aries worsted in the Winter Solstice colorway. He picked it all. So it's a really nice light blue, like baby kind of bluish with speckles of brown. There's a little bit of orange, a little bit of pink. It's really pretty, and he loves it. But then, of course, I take it to shows. He's like, why are you taking all my knitwear to shows? I'm like, I knit it for you, but I also knit it as a sample. Sorry. So that's great. I also have that colorway in sock yarn. What's next? Next, I feel like I'm flying. I did this test knit for Garlene of the Kitchen Sink Shop. This was her her sock pattern. The sock is her Emmina sock, which is named for her daughter. So sweet, and it's such a fun pattern. I'm not a sock fan. Typically, like I don't knit a lot of socks. But I told her I would definitely knit this sock again and again. And there's like a weird thing in there. How does one manage this when you're knitting a sock? Like, I don't know what happened there. That's so weird. I don't even know what happened there. Anyway. It's just so pretty with this really nice cable down the front. Lace down the front. And then really pretty stitch pattern on the back, texture. And I knit this in my When You Were Mine colorway. They're so pretty. I have the other one around somewhere, but I took them to my show and they're still packed away. I just dug this one out. So I finished those, and I can't wait for it to be a little cooler so I can maybe wear them. As much as I'm using them as samples, I still need to wear my samples. I know it doesn't make them look as nice, but has to happen. What's next? Oh, I don't have that. So I also knit my mom this really pretty Virgin Ships cowl from Boyland Knitworks. It's very, very lovely, and I'll put a picture of it in here. I knit it in my Willow fingering, which is an MCN, and in the Lady Edith colorway, which my mom picked. My mom is pretty picky, and I had said a bunch on Instagram about how I was worried she wouldn't like it, because she wants things to be not too tight, but not too loose, and not too dainty and fancy, but not too plain, and not too bold, but not too blah. Like, oh, she's got some serious specifications. And when I told her that, she was like, I'm not that bad. I was like, but you are. She loved it. She loved it. It was just the right amount of detail. It was just the right amount of like ease and fittedness, and the colorway she picked out herself, so I knew she'd like that. And it's cashmere, and so she loved it. It was super soft, so you can pull it up a little bit if you're cold. You can just release it. So she got that when she came to see Isaac's show in April. And she said, I can't stop wearing it and smelling it. I was like, smelling it? So what do you use to wash it? It smells so nice. Something with lavender in it. She's like, oh my goodness, I need some of that. So that was a really fun, a fun little knit that was just fairly mindless. Like, it's mostly just knit around. But it's knit, the construction of it's quite neat, because you start flat and then you join it, and so it becomes kind of almost like a bandana in a way, and it's like shorter at the back but longer in the front. It's really, really cute. I'll put a picture in. And then what else did I finish? I did not knit this. I could have, but I did not. This is the Nordiska, again by Boyland Knitworks, Caitlin Hunter, and this was sample knit for me by Noelle of Knits and Pieces. That's her podcast. And then I think on Instagram or Ravelry, she's NS Knits and Pieces. And I'll put her Instagram down here too. She does beautiful, beautiful work. So beautiful. She lives an hour from me. She contacted me and said, I'd be happy to sample knit something for you if you like. And I was like, yes, I would like that. Look at this beautiful detail. So this is knit in a new base that I have called Nova Fingering. It is organic, non-superwash, 100% merino. And we have for the body Midnight, and then the cream, it's hard to see, there are speckles in it, but they don't show up so well from far away, is Nutkin, and the mustard color is Persimmon. And I wore this in Finland Falls on Saturday and got lots and lots of compliments on it. Her knitting is just so beautiful. She explained to me a few of the things she did to modify it just ever so slightly, so it just looked a bit cleaner. And don't ask me what that is, because I don't know. Something to do with this collar here, and I don't know, but just because I haven't knit it. So if I knit it, I would understand, but because I haven't, I'm not sure exactly what she did. But it's beautiful, and it fits like a glove. Well, not fitted like a glove. It just fits perfectly. It's just the right amount of ease, and I just love it. So thank you, Noelle, for doing this. I adore it so much. It is so nice to have a sweater sample that I can wear, but that I can also use to show off those new bases. And with this new base, I wanted something that was kind of classic and that would flatter any body type, and this pattern fits that bill. It's just a bit of ease. I think it's like 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. No, sorry, it's more than that. I think it's maybe 10. But it works really nice no matter your size or your shape or your height or your lack of height in my case. You can make it longer, you can make the body longer, and I think we did do that a little bit, made it a little bit longer, but the way it sits on me is just perfect. So it just sits, there's my hip bone here. It's kind of hard, I'm at a weird angle, but like it sits about 1 inch or 2 above my hip bone. It's so nice. And then the sleeves, I think I'm going to reblock this part just because it's a little snug, but I don't mind. But I think it's just the last few rows of the color work are a little tighter than the rest of them. Probably because there were decreases there by the looks of it. So I might just reblock that so it's just a little stretchier. Otherwise it sits kind of tight on my arm, which I don't love. But it was fine. It just kind of slides up a little bit and it's great. And I love it. So there's that. So nice. So nice. And then I've been so lucky. I feel like I'm missing things too, but oh, there's a pull on this. Darn. There's this beauty, which is Elton cardigan from Locatelli. That was sample knit for me in my polar fingering, and which is my single ply, and Zephyr lace, which is brand new base, by Jen of jen.g.knits on Instagram. And she reached out to me and asked if I would ever require sample knitters, and I was like, yeah. You can see right through if I hold it up. Like it creates this beautiful texture. You've got those couple of rows, I don't know how many there are, 3, 4, I think 4 rows of fingering and then 4 rows of lace, and you just get this really pretty striped effect. It's not striped, it's the same colorway, but you know what I mean, because one's lighter, one's heavier. Now the only sad thing about this is it's quite big, and that's really my fault. Jen sent me a picture of it in the small, and I was so afraid that it would be too small that I said let's go up to the medium, and so we did, but it's quite big. And it's supposed to be, I think there's like 14 or 16 inches of positive ease. It's meant to be big, but I'm pretty tiny, and it's really quite big. So, I don't know. Likely I won't put buttons on it, and I'll probably just have it open like this, because when it's like this, oh yeah, and we made longer sleeves, I think, too. Maybe, anyway, yeah, I think I would probably just wear it like this, because I think if I bring it over like this, suddenly I just feel like I'm looking a little silly. I saw somebody at Fenland Falls with one on in this beautiful pink, and hers was a lot smaller, and it was not skin tight fitted, but it was not, I can't remember if she said she made the small or the extra small, but it was really, really nice. And she was smaller chested than I was, so it looked different. Like I feel like the small would have been okay, but you never know, right? And it's so hard when you're not knitting your own stuff. You can't kind of play it as you go. You have to rely on pictures and things like that. But I'm so happy with the knit itself. It's just lovely, and it serves as a fabulous sample. So I might make myself another one at some point in a different color, just so that I could wear it. But I love it. So pretty. And I love a light cardigan like this. Like I was thinking today when I took Isaac to his voice lesson, how nice it would be to have a cardigan. I couldn't find one. They were all in the wash. And because I did a load of like delicates, and so I put them in there, and I didn't have anything. I'm like, I think it's either time to make another featherweight cardigan, or I might make one of these, because I actually haven't knit it, so that would be fun. So it's the Elton cardigan by Hohi. Really nice. People, it just keeps going. This sweater is so nice. Water, cold chai latte. After Isaac's voice lesson, I had to go get some plants from the nursery, and then there's a bakery right across the street that I love. So we went in there and grabbed a snack, which turned out to be my lunch, and I realized that he hasn't even had lunch yet because he had a lemon square. Bad mom. So next, actually maybe next I'll do this. Look at this little beautiful hat, the Harlow hat by Andrea Mowry. You can see a pattern here soon, like a pattern in my choices of things I'm making. This is so cute. These colors aren't necessarily my colors. I picked them because I loved them together, but like, you know, I don't necessarily wear those myself. And this hat's great because it's reversible. This color of Midnight was a little bit lighter than it normally is, so it doesn't pop the way on this side as much. That's why I have it on this side. I love it. So this is Midnight and Piper. And I feel like I didn't tell you what those other colorways were. This, did I tell you? This was Forest City, the colorway. Named for London, Ontario, which is known as the Forest City. So anyway, yes, Piper here and Midnight on the inside. And my friend Renee, who is Springhaven Mommy on Instagram, made this for me. She whipped it up in like 2 minutes because she's super fast. It's so cute. So I really love that. I love a simple brioche hat. I think I might have to cast one of these on for my son, because I think in the right colors that would look great on him. Okay, so the next thing I was going to get to, turn my page. See, I told you I had a lot of stuff. This is an amazing sweater. Oh my goodness. Been wanting a weekender sweater by Andrea Mowry forever. But I had bought yarn at Rhinebeck for it, you may remember, and I haven't started that really. I started down here, but it felt like it was really, really big. But this is interesting now because I can actually measure it against this one. If it's the same, I can keep it, and if it's too big, I'll pull it out. Anyway, my new base, Nova, which I had mentioned earlier, and is 100% organic, non-superwash merino. And it's fingering weight, but I sent Lisa, who is Superwoman11 on Instagram. She contacted me about a test knit, or a sample knit. And so I sent her enough fingering weight, but to double it, because I really wanted a marled effect. Oh my goodness. Tell me this isn't amazing. Looks a little camo-y. It's so pretty. So it's Laurel and When You Were Mine mixed together. And I love it so much. So, there's that. The only thing that this is it's amazing. I don't have any complaints. My only complaint, it's not a complaint, is just that, and I don't understand if this is the way it's meant to be or if it's just the bind off that Lisa chose, but it's pretty tight. Because I know when you do like certain kinds of bind on and bind offs, obviously it can be more stretchy or more snug, right? And this is pretty snug, almost feels like a cord. So I don't know if that's the way it was meant to be, or if it's just the bind off that Lisa used, because it's the same down here. So it just makes getting your head through a little bit harder. But there's still quite a bit of give there. Like, it's hard to see, but like there's still quite a bit of give. So I think I'm going to just maybe block that out and put something there just to kind of pull that tight a bit to see if it'll stay. And just the same with the wrists a little bit. Just give it a little bit of oomph to see if I can get that to pull out a little bit more. But otherwise, I might have to knit it, so it's amazing. It's so nice. And I could try it on for you, but I feel like it's going to, with the shirt underneath, not really do much justice to it. See, when I put my head through it, it's a little snug. And the arms are a little snug. And this just feels a bit like there's a cord sitting on my neck. It's the only thing that I'm like, wish that wasn't like that. But again, when you're not the one knitting it and it's a sample, you like, it's fine. Don't plan on wearing this out in public every day. It's going to be a sample, so it's okay. But it fits just like a dream for me. I love it so much. Just wants this to be a little bit tighter or looser, and then yeah, if that was just a little bit pulled. I don't think that's gonna do anything more though, because I think even when it's on, I think it's pulled as tight as it can go. So anyway, it's super cute. I love it. I love it. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's so hard, right? When you've got someone and they're asking you, well, should I do this? Should I do that? I'm like, I don't know, because I'm not there to see it. So it's hard for me to know what I should tell you to do when I'm not there. Like, here's my size. This is what, but like, not like a professional knitters or designers. They're just amazing people offering their services, and I appreciate it so much. So it is what it is, and it's all fine. This is my last FO. Now it is not, my ends aren't woven in, so excuse that, but it's done. What? I've got issues with this too, and I did make it, so it's not. Debbie, I didn't swatch before I started this. Let that be a lesson to me. I never swatch. I also haven't really blocked it, so I think it might be okay. But this is meant to be a medium. And I tell you right now, there is no way in heck that's a medium. And I repeated the bottom, like it's supposed to be 5 repeats, and I did 8. So it could probably go down this much further for how I'd like it. But even that, like, it's pretty snug. It's not like pulling skin tight. It's like probably 0 positive ease. It's looser in the body part, but it's short, and you can tell by the yoke, it's not as deep as it should be. Like, the yoke should be deeper. Based on other ones I've seen in person, it should be deeper. Mine's quite short, and that's just because, here's what happened. I didn't swatch, but I never do. What I always do is I go up in needle size when I knit color work. What strikes me as odd with this pattern is that the needle for the body recommended size is 3.75, which is pretty small for a DK weight yarn. It's pretty fine. It's also color work, which is going to make everything a bit tighter anyway. So I feel like I don't understand what the reasoning was for 3.75. Most people I know have gone up in needle sizes. So unless she's an incredible, like Caitlin Hunter, this is Boyland Knitworks again, unless she's an incredibly tight, loose knitter, so she went down a needle size, I feel like I don't understand why it was so small, because this probably could have easily been a 4.5. I would go up to a 5 probably for myself. And now the downfall of that is you get a different fabric. But this is a pretty dense fabric. Like, when you feel it, it's not like stand up on its own stiff. It's fine. It's lots of drape. It's okay. But you can see, like, in the color work, right? It's pretty condensed. Again, I haven't blocked it properly. I gave it a bit of a block when I was washing it to see if I should really just pull, or when I was knitting it, I got down to about here. Thought just to see if I should just pull it out instead of finishing, but I finished it, and it's actually super cute on. The other thing I don't love though about some of her patterns, I don't know, I'm just griping here a little bit, is I love the short rows. I love that the sweater pattern comes up higher in the back. That makes me super happy. But they don't come far enough around, and there aren't any increases to compensate for that, so it just becomes like this little funnel neck. Like, I don't know how to, and part of that could just be because it's so tight through here, but it's not so tight that it's puckering. Like, it's not like I've pulled my stitches too tight. They're fine. The same thing happened with my Tecumseh, but my Tecumseh relaxed a lot because it was a bigger size needle that we were using, so there was more space for that to stretch out, whereas this doesn't have that because it's so tight. Such a small needle size. So I don't know. I love the pattern. Like, this is the cutest sweater in the world. I love my colors. So I used Simon. I used the orangey color is Amber Eyes. It's like a, I don't have any here, but it's well, it's this color, obviously, this orangey color with black speckles throughout it. So every now and then you get like little spots that are a bit darker. I used Spruce Lee, which is this tealy blue Spruce Lee, and the cream is Nutkin. I love it. Like, oh, I just might make another one in just a bigger size. Not a bigger size because this is a medium. But then Noelle from Knits and Pieces, she made a small, and hers is huge compared to mine, and she made a small. So I know that part of this is my gauge and my own fault. But there are some things about it that, like, I wouldn't knit a 3.75. I'd go up to probably a 5. And especially with the color work. And the whole sweater is color work. Right? Like, turn it inside out. Again, don't mind the I'll show you the back side where there aren't as many ends. Or sorry, the front side. Like, it's perfect. So great. It's just the size is like, but I love the sweater. So it'll be, and it's a fast knit, so it'll be worth doing again. Yeah, and I know it's my fault. I should have swatched. But you know what? I've swatched before so many times, and then I get to starting to knit. One sec. I said, just, you can stand there, just give me a sec. I start to knit it, and then it's off anyway. Like, I'm not consistent always, so that's why I stopped. I usually just go up a little bit, but I didn't, and that was my own fault. But I still love it, and I'll still wear it. I might pull the bottom out and just lengthen this a bit more so it's not quite so high up. I don't mind a little bit of a crop, but I don't, you know, here's my waist, here's my hip bone. Like, it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty cropped. Now, my pant top is right here, so it wouldn't be so bad with something like this, right? You'd have, like, here's my belly button, right? So it would be cute, but we'll see. I don't know. I still think it's beautiful. And people, that is all my finished objects. And so yeah, so anyway, that's a lot of finished objects. So when you disappear for 4 months, you acquire a few things. It was awesome. And I have a work in progress as well here, which I'm still, don't know if I told you about this last time or not. Nope. This is new. So I started a Brunswick tee by Olive Knits, who is Marie Green. And it is in my Orchard House colorway, which is a really, really pale, creamy yellow with speckles of greens and like some browns and bits of darker, like mustardy yellow, very little faint bits in there. And I've just started the color work, and the color work at the bottom is going to be in this beautiful Laurel colorway. Yeah, like I've just started, so you can't really even see. But I think I can put a picture of this in and show you. It's really pretty. I'm hoping that this color won't be weird on me. Sometimes I pick colors, I love them, but they don't always look as great on me as I. And so then what you do is go on afterwards and pick up all these stitches for the neck, and you pick up all these stitches for the sleeves. Not my favorite thing to do. I loved the top, so I was like, I'm going to make that. And then I was like, oh, construction, not my favorite. But that's okay. That's okay. It's going to be super cute. And I love the detail at the bottom, that color work. It's just a band of like a color from within the speckles. It's a little bit of tealy blue in there too. Super pretty. So that's my work in progress, and that I'm hoping to have done relatively soon. Before my next show, but who knows, we'll see. Picking up stitches is not my favorite, so sometimes I like leave it because I don't want to have to do all that. I'm feeling quite lazy. Oh well. Let's move on to acquisitions. I had some fabulous trades this weekend at Cortha's. I don't typically do too much trading, only because I really don't need yarn. Like, I just don't need yarn. And I'm making them in my own yarn, so I don't typically need other people's yarn. But sometimes you just do a trade. So I did a couple trades with my two lovely friends. one who was vending and one who was not. So Rose, who is Akara Yarns, is a very dear friend, and she kept coming over to my booth. She had a micro table, and I had a booth, and so I could see her from my booth. If I'd stand out at the end of my booth, I could see her, and we'd wave and whatnot. And she kept coming over and looking, and then she'd be like, hold this for me. Hold this for me. I was like, okay. And at the end, she had 3 things on hold, and I went over to say hi to her. She's like, or she came back. She's like, so we're going to trade? I was like, oh, okay. So I went over and took a look, and I was like, I don't need yarn, but this is really pretty. So I ended up getting 3 skeins, and she laughed at me. She's like, you always get the same colorway. I'm like, well, I don't need 3 individual skeins of yarn at all. Though I did think of something I could have got. That would have been nice. But anyway, I got this, which was beautiful. Oh, so pretty. So 3 skeins. This is for Patina colorway. Oh, label's upside down. And it's so pretty, and it's like, oh goodness, got some browns in there, and a beautiful like tealy aqua type blues, brown speckles, some lighter bits. And I think it'd make a beautiful cardigan. So I have 3 of those. Yes, 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 yes. And then lovely Karen, who is Feisty Fibers, came in to say hi to me. She wasn't vending, but she was there just as a customer, and she's like, do you want to do a trade? I'm like, you have yarn with you? She's like, maybe. She had yarn in her bag, which killed me. So I don't have a label for this, but this is what I picked. Karen, I think it's your Smite, right? Colorway? Anyway, it's beautiful oranges and grays, and I love it. And I thought, after I got home, I was saying to my husband, well, these would go nice together. So I think what I might do is a cardigan with a bit of color work. Not that I usually do color work with superwash, but these are the same base. I think. This is, yeah, I think these are the same base. So it would be fine. Well, it would be fine either way, but I don't usually use superwash and sock yarn for color work, but I did for my Zweig, and it was really nice. So I think this could be really pretty for a cardigan with like a little bit of color work, maybe around the waistband and around the cuffs, or even like a little bit up here. So you gotta find the right pattern. So if you can think of a pattern that you think would work with those, let me know. Are those beautiful? Oh, so nice. Love that. So that was Tradesies, which was really fun. And then also at Cortha, I purchased something. Again, don't tend to buy a lot when I go to shows, just because I don't need stuff, and I don't get around for my booth to look around very much. But lovely Jessica, who is J. Henry Design Co., was kind of kitty corner for me, and I think I didn't even realize it till like the last hour and a half, 2 hours of the show, that she was right there. And I also looked up, I'm like, oh my goodness, she's right there. And I've been wanting to see her bags. I've seen her at other shows, but like kind of like just like flyby, not actually so close that I could chat to her, or like she'd be really busy. And we've been Instagram friends, but we just don't, you don't always get the chance to meet people that you know online. So I went over and I saw this bag. And the first thing that drew me to it was its size. It's huge. I don't know that this is doing any justice, but if I just use one of these skeins of yarn to show you, like it's almost double 2 skeins of yarn. Like it's so big. And I loved these. The wolves and the horses and the hares and little ghost cactuses and mountains, and oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful. And the colors. And not like that's crazy bright for me, but I love that zipper. It comes out really pale there compared to how it is. It's like fluorescent orange. The inside fabric is beautiful. Like the colors are exactly the same. Here's her little logo, and it's huge. Like, so what I was thinking for this when I bought it, like, look at that. My it's just so big. It's like huge. What I was thinking was, I don't have a bag big enough for when I'm doing a heavier weight sweater, and I have a plan for a heavier weight sweater soonish. So I'm gonna need something to keep that in, instead of just maybe like a tote bag or something. And her fabrics were all so beautiful. Like, I just loved them all. I think she thought it was crazy because I'm like, oh, so I had this in my hand. I'm like, what, this fabric? And then I'd run to the other side of the store. This fabric, and then run to the other side of the store. And all her fabrics. I wanted a little bit of everything, but gotta pick and choose. I'm super happy with this though. I mean, these 4 skeins can go in there. Like, there's like practically single file on the bottom. Not single file, but like single pull, I don't even want to call that. And there's still like so much space. It's just they come like to like here. So that'll be great for a nice big sweater. Oh, I just noticed this. So in the pocket inside it's different fabric again. Stars and moons. It's so pretty. I think the only thing that I would say that I would love, make me love this even more, and I mean, you can tell she knows what she's doing. Her design, the elements are so clever. Her fabric that covers the ends of the zippers here. And I don't know much about sewing, so if that's just like a standard thing, but I've seen other bags that don't do that. They just kind of get sewn into the fabric. You know, and she stops your zipper, whatever. I just think that's really clever for zippers that are sewn in. I do love a zipper that's not sewn in. I don't think I have any bags like that right now close by. This one might be. Nope, that one's sewn in too. Okay, well I don't have any close by. But like when a zipper is not sewn in, and so you go to open it and the zipper extends out in like a little tag, because then it actually allows you to open it even more. So I really love that. But I have lots of bags like that, so it wasn't essential with this bag, but that's just the only thing I would think would make me think that this bag would be more amazing than it already is, but it's already so amazing. Oh my god. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm complaining today. I'm really not. I'm just little things that I feel like could just be set things over the edge for me. But this is pretty fantastic. Check her out. She's awesome. Her bags are just incredible. Okay, I'm running out of like time here. It's getting really late. Here's another acquisition that I purchased. I don't buy much yarn anymore because who has space to store it all? But I love this color. This is one of my favorite colors, and when I see yarn in this color, I almost always buy it. So this is Kilburn Woolens, and it's their Scout base, which I believe is maybe, I think it's DK. Some people might consider it sport, but it's a woolen spun. It's so beautiful, and I bought it to make a Nurtured by Andrea Mowry. I haven't started yet, but I will be, because that color is everything. I love it so much. So I bought 5 skeins of that at Laurel Edmonton when they had their 10th anniversary sale. Laurel Edmonton is in St. Thomas, which is pretty much my local yarn shop, because London doesn't really have much, sadly. We had one and they moved, and the other one's way out the other end of town, about as far as Laurel Edmonton. Okay, one more acquisition, and then I'm done for acquisitions. What? I got a gorgeous twig and horn canvas crossover body bag that I ordered from Miss Bastrico. They put them on their website or on their Instagram, and I was like, oh, they probably won't have any of my color left. And then I went on and they did, and I was like, done. It's like a little birthday present to myself, which was back in January. But I have used it nonstop. And if you get one of these, a tip that I learned this weekend, they shrink. Maybe everybody would know that, but I didn't. And a customer friend came in and she had hers, and I was like, did you wash her? She's like, yeah, I had a lotion, exploded it. I was like, oh, I think it's small. I think it shrunk because it looked significantly smaller. So I took mine out, and literally hers came up to like here. It was a huge difference. So hopefully I don't have lotion explode in mine because I'm not going to wash it. But, I mean, you do what you have to do, right? You can't walk around with a nasty looking bag. But it's so amazing. All these pockets on both sides, there's like 2 pockets, and inside there's a gorgeous, like there's pockets on the outside, and then there's this divider. So you've got like space on this side of the divider and space on that side and space on this side. You can't see, and it's full of stuff, so it's just gonna look like this. It's just huge, and I love it so much. And it was just supposed to be like a knitting kind of whatever bag, but I use it for everything every single day. It's my new purse, and I love it so much. Okay, I think that's it I think that's it. Almost. I'm gonna move on real quick. Dun dun dun. What are all this? What's this pretty stuff? Okay. First of all, in knit along winners, hello. It's only been like 2.5 months, almost. So if you're new, I'm doing a knit along, haphazardly though. It's called Drawer of Sweaters knit along. I did it all of last year. We had 4 fabulous winners, and I'm doing it this year. So the idea is that you knit sweaters and you enter them in the knit along to win a prize. And the idea of it is to encourage you to build your wardrobe of knitted garments. So a short sleeve or a long sleeve sweater or a cardigan. I think we said short sleeve, didn't we? Tell me below if I said no short sleeves. I think I said short sleeve was okay. But no baby sweaters, no kid sweaters, just adult size sweaters. So it's really for you to build your own wardrobe, not but if you're knitting your adult daughter or son a sweater, that's fine. But the idea is to like knit ourselves garments, because there's nothing better than a knitted garment for yourself. So the winner of the first quarter of 2019 is Nadine Reeves. Nadine's a dear friend of mine, and it was very exciting that she won. She is local to me, and so she will be able to pick this up whenever she likes. You're getting a skein of this Soul Sock, which is Colorways Welcome to the Rock, which is one of the how do I say this, the release colorway from last year's Ode to Musical Theatre Club of Come From Away. It's going to come with a cream mini for heels and toes. I misplaced that, so I don't know where that is. You get that. And you're getting, a pair of Zing needles. DPNs, this is a 3.5 millimeter size. I love that color, FYI. And I might have something else to throw in too, but for sure you're getting this and the mini for your giveaway. So congratulations, Nadine. Be in touch with me when you are able to pick it up, and we'll make that happen, and we'll have a cup of tea while we discuss your winnings. So exciting. The second quarter is June 30th, so all entries have to be in by midnight on June 30th. So you've got a couple weeks to finish off your sweaters. I know I said it'd be better this year, and I've been worse, but I'm sorry. So June 30th, and then the third quarter is September 30th, and then the fourth quarter is December 31st. And you don't need much guidance from me, really. It's really just about knitting yourself sweaters and hashtagging them so I can see them, tagging me them on Instagram if you are doing that, and post them in the Ravelry page. So if you search under the groups tab, under the Loving Path, you'll find me there, and there is 2 threads. One is for FOs for the second quarter, and it is no chatter, and the second one is a chatter thread, so you can add things, you can talk to people, you can ask questions, you can share progress, any of that kind of stuff. So that's there. Also, there's a thread there for an Ask Me Anything thread, which I'm pretty sure no one's asked me anything. That's okay, you don't have to. But if you wanted to, it's there. If you had some kind of crazy information that you required me to answer, or you were interested in, curious, you could do that. So let me see. Other than that, I had a shop update yesterday. It was really, it was small-ish in that it included 2 bases, but they're both new. So I just thought I'd show you quickly a couple of those today. So this is the Nova, which I mentioned earlier, and it is 100% organic merino, non-superwash. It is so soft and squishy and so nice. So there's some different colorways in there, things that you can put together to make shawls or Colourworks sweaters, which would be great for. There's also this mustard color, but in this base, and like that would be gorgeous. Nordiska or any of those kinds of sweaters that require 3 colors, two solids and a speckle, be really pretty. I also have it in these colors. So this is Crushed Lilac, Peony, and Tea Season. And there are others. There's Midnight, there's Simon, there's Rustic Autumn. No Rustic Autumn in this. Blood Moon, Persimmon, Laurel, When You Were Mine, some other colors. So you can go on there. They're online now. And there is a fair number of sweater quantities. So if you are looking for more than like a couple, they're there right now. And you can pick and choose and make some sweaters out of those. And the other new base I have is the Zephyr lace base, which is so pretty and fine and just lovely. Oh. Love it. So this is 60% superwash merino, 25% mohair, and 15% nylon. So everyone loves a little mohair in their knits, I know, and I enjoy mohair myself. I've told you before that I used to knit nothing but mohair, like entire mohair scarves and whatnot. But everyone is selling like the kid silk lace, like fluffy mohair. And I wanted a little something with fluff, but I didn't want that same base that everyone's carrying, just because I think like sometimes a little bit less is a little bit more. So this has 25% mohair. It will, and some people can't wear mohair. It's too much. So this has a gorgeous halo to it. As you can maybe see in this, it's just a smidge, like, I don't think you can really tell, but it's really pretty, and it's so soft and squishy, and I have that in a number of bases. So Nutkin and Persimmon are 2 of them. I also have Dickens and Blood Moon. And again, there's Simon, there's Midnight. What else is there? I'm trying to find out where it is. I can see Rustic Autumn and Forest City. I think those are the ones I have in there right now. I did have some Wild Child and some Spruce Lee, but they sold at the show, so I'm out of those. You get 840 yards, 115 grams, so it goes a really long way. So for this sweater, it required 2 polar fingering, so 420 yards, and 1 of the lace, and there was extra from both, but basically that's what you get. So it's 3 skeins of yarn, and this, of course, this was a bit pricier because of the yardage and the mohair and everything else, but it's worth it. It goes a really long way. So those are 2 new bases. They're all in the shop. Later this week there'll be more stuff coming to the shop. I just have to get the pictures taken and whatnot, and that just takes some time. And I'm out of town tomorrow in Stratford, so it won't be tomorrow likely, but hopefully Thursday, Friday, I'll have some more stuff in the shop for you. And other than that, where am I next? I am going to be at Yarns Untangled in Kensington Market, Toronto on June 30th for Trunk Show. I'm really excited about that. I'm not excited about getting to Toronto. That overwhelms me. But I'm excited once I'm there. It'll be awesome. And so really looking forward to that. And then I'm going to be at Home County Folk Festival here in London. It's a 3-day festival. Sorry, I just need some water. Yeah, 3-day festival. It's fabulous. So if you love Canadian music, Stephen Page from Bare Naked Ladies is headlining. He'll be there on the Friday night. Last year Jim Cuddy headlined. That was magical. Lots of other small independent bands and musicians from across Canada will be there at different stages throughout the weekend, and it's an amazing weekend. There are some hardcore people who come and do the whole weekend and see every show, and there's vendors, like every kind of thing you can imagine is there. So it's a great place to come, get some food, wander around, take in the sounds and sights, and right downtown London, Ontario in Victoria Park. So let me know if you're coming, because I'd love to see you. I'll be there July 19th, 20th, 21st. After that is Fiber Spirit in Barrie, August 24th. And after that is KW, Kitchener-Waterloo Knitters Fair, September 14th in Kitchener-Waterloo. And then I'm going to take a break. Got something else maybe planned, but I'm not 100% sure because it depends on Isaac's schedule, and if he gets cast in a show he's auditioning for, then I'm not leaving. But if he doesn't, then I might venture outwards. So we'll see. So until that's it. That's my life. I think that's all I have to say. Let's go double check. Yeah, that's it. So, hello, thank you for being here. Oh, I'm going to move this back. I so appreciate that you stick around when I am not here for 4 months and that you come back and watch. I know there's some new viewers, so hello. Sometimes it's like this, you know, sometimes I have to come and go because I'm a mom and I homeschool and we're busy. And, you know, Isaac's got his voice lessons and piano lessons and he's doing other things. He's theater. He's so busy, and really sitting down to do this requires a day where I don't have to do too much. And I decided today, or last night, that maybe I'd try and podcast today. He had a voice lesson today, but it's already 4. My husband's going to be home from work. Like, it took me from the time we got home at 1:15, and I've been talking for an hour and 14 minutes. It took me that long to set up before I even started. So it's a lot for me to do. So I'm here when I'm here, and I appreciate so much that you come back and see me and spend a little bit of time with me. One other thing that I just realized is I did another advent calendar this year. For those of you who were here last year, you know that we do Vlogmas every year, Isaac and I, and I released another Ode to Musical Theatre advent calendar where all the skeins will be new. So you'll get 25 10-gram mini skeins, each one inspired by a song from a musical, different from last year. Everything's new. There are 2 spots left in the shop. So if those speak to you and you are interested in an advent calendar that is inspired by musical theatre, head over there and grab one. I'm not sure I'm going to be listing that listing. It's going to depend on how things go. If I do, it won't be until probably after home county. So the end of July, I might relist and put a few more in, but that's going to depend on how busy I am and whether or not I have the time to do that. So if you're interested, head over there and grab one. Other than that, that's it for shop news. And I'm going to say goodbye because I need to edit an hour and 15 minutes and put this all together. And my husband will be home soon. We got to start dinner. So thank you for tuning in and watching. If you want to find me on social media, you can find me on Instagram as The Loving Path Yarn. A little note, if you have to request to follow me, that is not the right account. That would be my personal account, and I usually don't accept people who I don't know. So it's a business account. It's public. You don't have to request me. You can just follow. And then Ravelry is The Loving Path. Etsy is The Loving Path. And YouTube, here I am, The Loving Path. So come find me and say hello. I would love to see you and connect. If you want to sample knit, let me know. I will send you some wonderful things in a pattern and you can get cracking. I compensate with yarn usually, so if that works for you. And I'm pretty generous, I think, so be in touch if that appeals to you. Anything else? I don't know, probably, but I'm going to leave it for now, and I'm going to try really hard to not be 4 months again. I think probably sometime early July I'll be back with another show. The Debbie and Loving Path show, with another podcast. So I hope to see you then. Until then, enjoy your summer, happy knitting, and have so much fun doing whatever makes you happy. Talk to you soon. Bye.